Derek Davis, head coach of the women's archery team at Columbia University. Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen. Jennifer Lawrence, she actually did get coaching from Khatuna Lorick, who's a 5-time Olympian, I believe. So she's one of the better looking ones as far as being accurate. There's still some fictional stuff in there. Again, how the angles from where she whips the arrows out of the quiver, that seems to be common because it just would take too long and look too hokey to call all the way straight up. But that simulator room, we do actually have simulators like that for archery. Not like that, but where images are projected on the screen, and we have special arrows that won't puncture the screen and things like, so we can shoot at those objects and it registers where it hits and you get points. So that's not too far-fetched. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rank her accuracy at 8, 9. Hawkeye, the Avengers. Hawkeye takes it to another level of like cool, but totally unrealistic. Could you make a quiver like that? Possibly. It would take a lot, and how that tip would securely attach to the arrow shaft would really be the trick on how to make that work. The way he whips arrows out of his quiver, physically unrealistic. But yeah, if I could have a quiver like that where I could switch points, I'd totally get one. Yeah, him not looking sometimes is part of his superhero feature. He has an incredible vision and accuracy in that sense. So once he looked at something, he didn't have to look at it again. He could kind of track in his mind where it was. Hawkeye, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give him a 3 or 4 in accuracy, but again, just a lot of fun. Brave, Merida. In that competition scene where she's walking from target to target, I would say of all the characters, Merida was probably the most accurate. It looks like Pixar actually did some research. The one thing that they did not get right, that Mythbusters actually proved, was that the arrow doesn't go all the way, when you split an arrow, it doesn't go all the way through the target. It only makes it about halfway down the shaft. When she releases that final arrow and they do it in slow motion, you see that arrow kind of warp and wrap around the bow. That's actually what's called Archer's Paradox. It's something that has to happen in archery. The arrow is never totally stiff. In fact, there's a range where it's too weak or too stiff. It could be a problem. So that was nice to see from an archer and a coaching standpoint. If you look carefully, you can even see where the fletching rubs across her cheek, and there's a little red line that slowly fades away. Most people miss that. On a scale of 1 to 10, Merida is pretty high. I would give her like an 8 or a 9. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. When he's teaching the married men how to shoot, I would say that's probably the most accurate part of the movie in terms of archery. Some of the things that he was saying is very similar to what a coach would be saying to a beginner teaching at a clinic or a camp or anything like that. In the competition scene where someone hits him in the leg and his arrow goes flying up, the accuracy of that is probably going to depend on the person. I actually train my archers for distraction because things like that can happen, and a bug or a leaf or something blows in your face or anything like that, and you need to be able to maintain focus. But there are some people where they can't, and that's going to be a huge distraction to them. Robin Hood Men in Tights, it's almost unfair to rank that because it was all spoof. On a realistic scale, I give him a 2. It was funny. It's a very popular movie. Mel Brooks knows how to make funny movies.